Welcome back to another episode of What's New in Beauty. My name is Nia Lee, and I'm super excited to have you guys here. On today's episode, I wanted to speak about this latest beauty news that just came across my feed today. I was literally on Instagram and I saw Trend Mood, and I didn't really hear too many people talking about it, but as soon as I saw the advert and the visuals and everything, I was like, whoa, I need to talk about this, A. And B, I also wanted to tie it into something that I've personally been seeing and something that has been shifting slightly in the beauty industry, and that's all about affordability, believe it or not. And I spoke about this in the last episode or a couple episodes ago about Lime Crime actually announcing that they were going to be lowering a lot of their prices, and a lot of people were really happy about that and was like, oh my god, yay Lime Crime, after they had their whole debacle and they had all the controversy, and people are on its way to accepting Lime Crime back in open arms. But I wanted to speak on the news of Halsey, yes, Halsey, the famous singer and entertainer, who's actually launching a new beauty brand called af94. And this is actually her second beauty brand. So she launched About Face, I believe, a couple years ago. And I feel like it's one of those brands where, again, it's not like super duper popular because they're not at like the big retailers like the Sephora's of the world and so on. But About Face actually sells at Ulta, and I believe they actually launched in Ulta as well too. And at the time, it seemed like a kind of sort of an affordable skincare brand, an affordable beauty brand, I should say, because they do sell more makeup and eyeshadow and eyeliners and lipsticks and so on and so forth. I don't think they've dabbled into the skincare world, but to me, when I saw About Face, I immediately thought, oh yeah, this is a very colorful, very fun, kind of, again, verging on this very Gen Z-esque type of brand, and that kind of falls within the same line of Halsey as well too, because she falls in that same Gen Z, on the cusp millennial vibe, you know what I mean? So a lot of people were very interested in that. But with this brand, af94, which she is actually going to launch on July 25th, is a lot more affordable, but it's still in the same range of this very full of color, eyes, lip, and cheek, body, and it all falls in the whole thing of it being affordable and it being, again, very Gen Z focused. If you see the marketing as well too, it's giving nostalgia, it's giving 90s. Honestly, when I looked at it, it feels something of like what you'd see if you were to go into like a drugstore or department store and you're looking at a beauty campaign setup. It gives like late 90s, early 2000s vibe. It also kind of reminds me a little bit of like even hair care a little bit. Like I've definitely seen like old school hair care companies like advertise and market this way. But in particular, her new brand, af94, which she says is an amalgamation of her initials and also the years that she was born in, which was 1994. And the headline that reads here in Stylecaster is, Halsey is launching another bold makeup brand, and this one is all under $10. And when you go on the actual site as well too, everything is legit under $10. Like everything is very affordable. Again, everything feels very like Gen Z focused. I kind of feel like it kind of looks a little bit like hard candy a little bit. And if you're old enough to remember hard candy, like especially going to like a drugstore, when you see hard candy, it definitely gives off like, I don't want to say like cheap almost, but it gives off like this is like a drugstore brand. But we know drugstore brands and makeup have completely evolved since then. So it kind of like veers back into that nostalgia a little bit, and I feel like they kind of did that on purpose. But at the same time, they have some really quality products here again for the eyes, lip, cheek, body. I'll actually read out everything that they have here and that they're going to be actually offering too. They have the Shadow Boxer eyeshadow crayons that are $8, the Scribble Stick, which is a non-sticky velvet gloss lip crayon, which is $8. Again, they have lip glosses, eyeliners, backline, £1.69. I love that. False advertising, false lashes. They have creamy matte lipstick called Majorly Matte. Again, everything is within this like $8 range. They've got a multi-use cheek and lip tints, which I think are like perfectly on brand for where we currently are right now when it comes to beauty. They have biodegradable makeup wipes, which is interesting to me because makeup wipes, everyone's so like anti-makeup wipes now and like what they do for the earth, but it's interesting that these are actually biodegradable, so interesting. And they also have joy stickers, which are colorful face and body stickers for I think that's $10 actually. And then the Dew Skin Mist, which is again $7. So everything, is within that affordable range, which is actually very impressive because to me, I feel like, again, beauty can be so expensive. Products are so expensive. It feels like every single day somebody's coming out with a beauty brand, hence Halsey. But every time that they do, you're always expecting it to be this very expensive brand, again, depending on also where they're selling the products as well too. So this is also really interesting to note because Halsey is actually exclusively selling this brand in Walmart, right? And it's going to be in approximately 2,900 Walmart stores. So this kind of falls in line as well too with this affordability wave that's been going on. A lot of actual brands, again, I remember as well too, Uma Beauty. If you guys don't remember, I spoke about this on an episode of What's New in Beauty. The actual CEO, Sharon Shooter, actually decided to launch another brand into Walmart that was affordable than Uma Beauty at the time as well too. And that was something that a lot of people were really interested in as well, because again, it was such a new thing. And I'm trying to remember the name of the brand as well too, which is why everybody like loved it. I think it is Uma by Sharon C. Yes, I remember. Okay. So yeah, this was the affordable, like more drugstore affordability from Uma Beauty, because Uma Beauty was a little bit more, a little bit more pricey, a little bit more expensive. Mind you, they were heavy on the complexion, they were heavy on certain things, so they had to definitely, have that competitive price range. But I loved when Uma Beauty within that same realm. I loved when they started getting popular and people started loving them. Then the actual CEO decided to actually create Uma by Sharon C, which again is the more affordable brand that was also exclusively launched into Walmart as well. And that was like, I think a year or two ago. So it's very interesting to see how like when people think of affordability, like Walmart seems to be the main like hub or retailer that people think about. I mean, Ulta is definitely also affordable as well, but there's a lot of high-end brands that are in Ulta as well, like the Too Faced and the Anastasia Beverly Hills, which you can also get at Sephora as well. But I know a lot of people love shopping at Ulta because of the point system and so on and so forth. So that's really interesting to know. But again, just reading back to this article here on Stylecaster, because Halsey actually decided to roll out af94, which is again this affordable and colorful brand where everything is under $10. She specifically says, after listening to feedback received from fans and friends, I wanted to create another self-expressive line that was lower priced with wide reach. So that explains her wanting to be in Walmart, which is why we are so excited to be launching this new collection with Walmart. I hope wearing this makeup, however that it looks for you, inspires you to break beauty rules and color outside of the lines, which I like. And again, I feel like About Face also has that same mantra as well too, where we're not really following beauty standards. We are going to use eyeshadow on our lips and our cheeks and all these other things as well too. And again, a lot of the products with About Face feel very, again, Gen Z, futuristic, multi-purpose, and so on and so forth. So it's really interesting to know that this brand as well, af94, is going to kind of work in the exact same way. I thought this was also really interesting as well too. Halsey said this quote, "I always remember being 15 years old and saving up to buy my first eyeliner. It was electric blue and a big purchase for me at the time, but the thrill of wearing such a bold color was worth every penny. I created af94 so that anyone and everyone can chase that rush of standing out with bold makeup, but at an affordable price." And I love this particularly because, again, I feel like when it comes to the beauty industry, I will say a lot of things have just become so expensive, and people are shopping, people are doing what they do, but people are like leaning so much more to affordability nowadays, more so than always wanting to spend copious amounts of money on products that 9 times out of 10 are just going to expire and we're probably never going to use. Again, we've seen the rise of the Amazon hauls and the Ulta hauls and the Target hauls and the Walmart hauls as well too, especially with now beauty brands actually, being very prevalent in these stores and these retailers, and these retailers actually, deciding to take the gamble on these brands as well too, and exclusively having them in their stores as well. At one point, being in a Sephora, for example, was like the end all be all for a lot of brands, or the biggest type of, honor you could get. And now I feel like being in an Ulta is just as monumental and awesome because, so many people go to Ulta and so many people love Ulta. And sometimes people don't necessarily always love Sephora, and even Walmart. Walmart has its problems and its, ups and downs again as a retailer and so on and so forth. But when we're talking about affordability and we're talking about wanting to go to a space where you can get things at an affordable price and also have the opportunity, affordable in terms of like drugstore products and so on. But if you can get your beauty products and it's also affordable, then it's like a win-win. You know what I mean? So it's really interesting to see how like she specifically says to herself, like, hey, I remember saving up my, coins to get my first eyeliner and wanting other people to have that same reaction as well too. But again, have it be at an affordable price, because the bold makeup, let's just say, the brands that are known for very bold, very, out there makeup, like MAC, for example, right? MAC was a very expensive brand for such a long time, and a lot of people couldn't afford MAC. MAC was actually something that was very exclusive to makeup artists. So it's very interesting to me now, especially in 2022, so many people are talking about affordability. So many brands are wanting to find ways to be affordable, whether they're lowering their prices, whether they are, whether they're trying to create a sister brand, or again, something just completely different to want to have that affordable option. Because at the time, of maybe 10, 15 years ago, affordability wasn't ever really like the thing. And also, quiet as it's kept, drugstore makeup brands and beauty brands they couldn't live up to the stature of a MAC, let's just say, or a lot of the brands in Sephora, like a Makeup Forever or an Estee Lauder. Those brands have been around for such a long, long time, and everyone just assumed, okay, yeah, I have to spend those prices. I've got to spend $40 for a foundation, or I got to spend $30 for, mascara, or I got to spend all this money and I got to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And again, it was really only makeup artists really having to spend that type of money, because this world of beauty has, it's always been there. And again, people used to get their makeup done, and now people are doing makeup at home. So everyone is looking for some sort of an affordable option nowadays. And I love that Halsey decided to come out with this brand, especially now, because as we've been seeing slowly but surely, a lot of brands are wanting to step into an affordable realm, because they realize, yeah, we can have like more of the, mid-price to high-end product, but we are completely missing out on an entire customer base by not creating something affordable or having an affordable option. And I noticed this particularly because, like I said, in one of the past episodes that we did about Lime Crime, lowering their prices, and that being very interesting, because it's very rare that you ever hear a beauty company, a huge beauty company like Lime Crime, announce that they're going to lower prices, right? We usually hear things like, them going bankrupt, like a Revlon or like a BH Cosmetics, because, something's going wrong there. But I also remember as well too, and I just gave that example of the Oma by Sharon C, but another brand as well that I thought about instantly was Thread Beauty. And if you don't know what Thread Beauty is, I highly suggest that you check them out. So that is Melissa Butler's second brand off tier of the lip bar. And again, if you're not familiar with the lip bar, I highly suggest that you tap in. The lip bar is probably one of the most well-known, at least in my circles of beauty, especially when it comes to like indie products that are really successful and have been, out here for a minute, especially with that wave of like, Black owned businesses really, coming to the table and so on and so forth. I remember they also gained notoriety from being on Shark Tank and getting, rejected and so on. But the Lip Bar was a brand that, again, was very, was definitely on the cutting edge and the cutting room floor of like those Black owned brands that were making products that were really empowering Black people to really embrace, red lipstick and bright colors and, different colors. You know what I mean? Like, who's to say Black women can't wear red lipstick or purple lipstick or bright pink lipstick, right? So the Lip Bar was one of those brands that came, again, with the ground running, and they came in, they got into Ulta, they got into Target, and they just immediately, almost in a way, blew up. It took them definitely a few years to do that, but they really, really hit the ground running. Now the Lip Bar is a huge successful brand, and now, the founder, Melissa Butler, she launches Thread Beauty, I believe, last year. And again, when I even had to look, because I was like, I feel like the Lip Bar was always very affordable. Like, they were selling at Target, they were selling at Ulta. I believe they're selling at Ulta. Let me just double check that just to be sure, because I do know they were selling it. Okay, yeah, they sell at Ulta, just to be sure. But yeah, again, and Target and Ulta are definitely those like affordable, brands and retailers that everyone loves to shop at, because you can get a whole bunch of products and so on and so forth. But Thread Beauty is actually even more affordable than the Lip Bar, which is very interesting, because the Lip Bar, like, I think the most expensive product that I saw that they had was $17. You know what I mean? And that, to me, is not super duper expensive. Oh, I'm lying. $22 is the highest product that I'm seeing here from them. But even that to me is not that expensive, considering what you would spend at Sephora for like an eyeshadow or a complexion product. And this, $22 product that won actually the Allure Best of Beauty Award back in 2020, which is their Fresh Glow 2-in-1 powder bronzer and blush duo. That's $22. If you were to go to Sephora right now and buy, like, let's just say, I think the only kind of complexion product you can probably get for that type of price is like Sephora collection products. You know what I mean? Because Sephora collection is supposed to be that more like affordable brand that Sephora sells offshoot from the other brands that they have. But if I'm on the Thread Beauty page, and a lot of the products here it's under $10 too. Like one of their contour sticks is $9 or $8. Another product that I'm looking at here is one of their sponges. It's $4. They have, again, like really cute accessories that you can use to kind of like bling out your eyes or other areas on your makeup. That's $4. I'm going to look at their complexion stick because I remember that going viral on TikTok, to be quite frank. Their foundation stick is $8. So to me, it's really interesting that so many brands or so many founders are wanting to go in this affordable route because that's kind of where we're at with it. I think a lot of people are saying to themselves, why am I spending upwards of like $50 on one product when I can go to a Walmart or I can go to an Ulta and I can get products at a little bit more of an inexpensive rate, and I can also get points and I can also get all these other features to it. But I think it's so smart. I think it's also in a time as well too where, again, a lot of people are craving affordable options when it comes to beauty. I can't tell you how many affordable skincare routines I've seen where brands are highlighting their bestseller products that you can get at an Ulta or at a Walmart or get at a CVS or whatever drugstore as well, because so many people are leaning into that, or even Amazon, just to be frank as well too. But again, Walmart, for example, is huge, right? So the fact that she's exclusively launching the brand in Walmart, the af94, it just goes to show you as well that like she is clearly tapped into what it is that her audience is looking for, or who knows, maybe the about face audience, which I believe when she launched the brand, she thought she was probably going to get, a cornering on the Gen Z market. Maybe it wasn't exactly, the right amount of price point that they were looking for, and they wanted something a little bit more, affordable. And this, having products under $10 that to me seem pretty great quality, is the right move. And them launching in Walmart is even, again, the better move as well too, because look how many people are going to Walmart, you know what I mean? And that's, almost close to 3,000 stores. So I think it's super smart. I think it's genius. I wanted to also touch on as well too, specifically something that one of the Walmart VP of beauty and within merchandising said. They said Walmart is committed to making beauty accessible for all of our customers, and we are thrilled to be adding af94 to our growing lineup of affordable, inclusive, and quality beauty products. So I think this is really, really important because it is known that Walmart is, again, really trying to I want to say compete a little bit with the Targets and the Ultas of the world, because, even let's just be frank, Walmart is killing it because they have added on such a roster. And I remember reading this article as well too, where it specifically stated that Walmart is actually taking an active effort to wanting to really bring in affordable and inclusive and, quality, again, beauty products to their lineup. And again, some of these, brands that they're bringing in, sometimes it's a new launch. Sometimes these brands have been around for a really, really long time, and now they're just deciding to come into Walmart. I believe Skin Proud is one of the brands that not recently, but like one of those brands that had been established for a while that started selling in Walmart. And I personally have seen their products as well too. But it seems to me that Walmart understands what's going on at the Targets and the Ultas of the world, and saying a lot of people are going to these places to get either affordable beauty products, or maybe it's a point system, or maybe it's a bunch of other things as well too. They're picking up vitamins, they're picking up toothpaste, they're picking up toilet paper, and they just so happen to go to the beauty section and they want to see what's popping. And now that they see all of these exciting, new brands that are launching like af94, and it just goes to show you as well too that this is also something to look into as well too. If you're a beauty brand that's launching, really think about how do you kind of want to market yourself in the world. Like, I think at a time being an affordable beauty brand used to be a negative thing, but I think of where we're at right now, especially with what happened with the pandemic, the fact that we're almost, we're currently in a recession and going to, enter into recession, even more. We're in it right now, but obviously, things are going to happen and so on and so forth. Inflation is crazy. So many things are getting so expensive, but at the end of the day, I still need my beauty products. I still need my lip gloss. I still need my brow gel. I still need my, eye shadow if I want to look cute. And Walmart is, saying, hey, let us be the affordable option for that. And let's lean into the fact that Walmart is a household name, right? Walmart definitely has more of a reach than an Ulta and a Target does, right? Because Target and Ulta are in the States, but they're not here in Canada, which is where I am. But Walmart's in Canada, right? And Walmart's in the US. So they have such a bigger reach than the others. And I think them wanting to really add on a lot of those inclusive, affordable brands, it just makes sense, right? And it's super smart. And I just think at the end of the day, when July 25th comes out, I don't know if her products are going to launch here in Canada, but I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on it because I want to try it out. Like, I think especially now, like the misconception that if a brand is in a drugstore or if it's affordable and it's, cheap quality, I think that's gone. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that interpretation of beauty is completely gone. And I feel like we are in a time now where the myth of a product being like $100 and it being good quality, yeah, it might be, but I can get something half the price or even less and it still be great quality, right? At the end of the day, we're going to have to wash it off. We're going to have to, it's going to go down the drain or it's going to go into the garbage. So might as well, not spend an arm and a leg on something that I'm going to have to take off at the end of the day anyway. And that's also 9 times out of 10 going to give me sometimes even better quality than the high price stuff. Like, I can't tell y'all, like, one of my favorite products to use, like, I will shop at the Sephora's. I will shop through the indie brands on Instagram and social media, and I'll go to the drugstore. One of my favorite drugstore products is at Walmart. It's the Maybelline Fit Me line, right? The foundations, the concealers, even the blushes are so high quality and really good, and they last a long time. And I think, again, the misconception that, again, you have to spend a lot of money to get, a full face. Again, that's completely gone. You know what I mean? Like, they're coming out with, and I'll say this back to af94. Yeah, they're coming out with eyeliners and crayons and, little things as well too to kind of amp up your look. But I could totally see them launching complexion products as well too in that same affordable range that lets people know, like, you don't have to spend 50, 60, upwards to $70 to get the look that you want. You know what I mean? And I think at the end of the day, I think a lot of people are coming to terms with that too. I think, especially, if Halsey is listening to her fans and her friends and so on, obviously this seems to be, something that people are, saying either vocally out loud, or maybe they're sending marketing surveys to people as well too, or maybe they're noticing their sales with about face. I have no idea. This is all just speculation, but I think it's super smart that Halsey's doing this. She's not getting rid of about face for whatever reason. I'm sure the brand is still successful and killing it. I mean, again, to me, I see a lot of people talk about the brand as well, but it's definitely not something that, again, is everywhere, right? So about face is obviously not going to get talked about the same way, that, I don't know, like a Summer Fridays might be, let's just say, right? Or what's another like complexion based brand? I shouldn't use Summer Fridays because they're more skincare, but about face is not going to necessarily get talked about like a Fenty, right? Because, their Fenty's in Sephora, and I believe they're in Ulta now. So like, they're killing it. About face is only in Ulta, and even though they're a pretty successful brand and a lot of people love their products, I would still kind of consider them indie because they're not everywhere, even though a lot of people do love their products. But I will say with this new brand, AF94, I'm really excited to see how it evolves. I'm really excited to see how people take to it as well too. I think it's super smart that she's adding this onto her portfolio, because you having an affordable option for people is always the best way to go, and it gives people options. It lets people know, like, hey, like, I don't just have to get about face, or I don't just have to spend an arm and a leg on other products. I can go, especially if you like Halsey and you're a fan of her and you want to support her in this way, you can go ahead and do that with AF94. And I think it's genius. hilarious. If you get a chance to look at the marketing, definitely do. I think it's so nostalgic. It's definitely giving all like the late 90s, early 2000s, Gen Z, Y2K vibes, all the things, which I can only see, like I can only imagine TikTok just eating this up. Like I cannot, like I'm just ready for it. But like I said, I think it's super smart. I think it's dope. I cannot wait for July 25th. Congrats to Halsey and their team. And I just think it's just awesome for listening to your community. You know, I've spoken about this so many times. It's so important to listen to your community because those are the people that are going to be buying your products. Those are the people that are going to be shaping your brand, right? It's not necessarily you that shape your brand, right? Yes, you're Halsey. Yes, you're this, but it's the people who are really going to be able to really tell you if your brand is great or not, or, you know, this isn't, you know, I can't afford this. You know what I mean? I love you and I love what's going on, but I can't afford this. So what else is out there? Or instead of, you know, them saying what else is out there and going to look for another brand, they can just look at the next brand that you have coming up. And like I said, I think there's definitely a wave of affordability coming with the beauty industry. You know, I haven't really seen anybody talk about it so much, but I have been noticing it with a lot of brands and founders coming out with these like affordable alternatives, wanting makeup and wanting beauty to be more accessible to more people and have it just not be, you know, this exclusive thing where only a certain amount of people can shop and only a certain amount of people can wear it. And, you know, this product, we don't know what this product looks on other skin tones or, you know, other, you know, skin types, let's just say. So I think it's really smart. And I think it seems like just a right move, especially for her, because About Face, like I said, has been around for a few years now. And the brand, you know, even just like looking at the IG, like they're definitely killing it. They definitely have the spunk, they have the look, they have the right clientele and the right, you know, community that they're building over there. But I think af94 is definitely going to take off in its own way. And who knows, it might even get a younger crowd because I think like the Gen Z crowd is like in their 20s now almost. So it might even get a younger crowd of, you know, that, I don't want to call it Gen Z because it wouldn't be that, but I would even say that the younger now Gen Zs, the Gen Zers, the younger Gen Zers, my cousin who's like 12 turning 13, to really now tap into that as well too, because maybe they might not want to go to the Ultas, or they might not want to go to Sephora, or they might not want to go to Kohl's or so on. And, you know, their mom is taking them to Walmart because they got to do a grocery run and they just so happen to go to the makeup section and there's af94 with their really dope Gen Z-esque Y2K marketing. That's really going to make people excited to check them out. So I wanted to speak on that because it's something that I've been noticing. Y'all let me know if you've been noticing it as well too. But I'm here for it. I'm here for more affordable beauty options. I think you can get so much out of affordable beauty nowadays, and I'm just over things being so ridiculously expensive when they don't have to. It's giving we're taking advantage of the situation because we can, versus, you know, you could be missing out on an entire, you know, section or an entire community or an entire customer base of people who would probably love to shop from you, but you're just so expensive. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you're going to have, you know, your people that are going to spend, you know, almost, you know, $600 or $700 on a La Mer cream, which I think is ridiculous. But you're also going to have other people who are going to want to spend, you know, under $10 for, you know, eyeshadows and mascaras and for, you know, a body mist and so on. And that's going to be okay as well too. I think all, you know, both sides of the beauty realm will work. But like I said, super smart, af94 launching on July 25th, which I believe is next week, Monday. So that'll be really exciting to see the rollout for that. But all that to be said, y'all, hopefully you enjoyed today's episode of What's New in Beauty. Definitely let me know how you enjoyed it, and I will catch you in the next one.